Hey guys, here at Stags and Wild, we love the Madrock Safeguard for one sticking. Just lovely, but right now you can't find it anywhere in the country. It's just sold out everywhere. So here's a great alternative, the GriGri Plus. We're going to show you how that compares to the Madrock Safeguard today.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start off this session with comparing the Madrock Safeguard and the Petzl GriGri Plus. And since it's been, what's it been, Gabe? A month, 5 weeks or so since the season's ended? Something like that?
About a month.
It's been a little bit since you've rappelled with a Safeguard, even though you've probably got 80 rappels or so this year with it, right?
Yeah, close.
Something like that. Because there was probably about 15 or 20 nights you did not go with me. Maybe something like that. So anyway, what I want you to do, buddy, is going up and rappel like normal with the Safeguard, just so that you can kind of get a feel again and make sure that you're back in tune with the Safeguard. And then after you get one rappel with your Safeguard, we will have you rappel down with the GriGri Plus and give you your thoughts on that. Next time, drop it to your left.
Well, I normally have my rope on my right side.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
See?
No wonder you seem so awkward going up.
Everything is really weird.
Everything's backwards.
It is. Everything's really weird.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead and don't forget to get the stick first and then rappel down. Okay, so pretty easy rappel with a Madrock, about like all the hundreds of other ones you've done.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Okay, so
Same concept.
same concept.
Almost exact same thing, just a little bit bulkier.
Okay, so this time we're going to let you do your technique from the start. I kind of threw the rope on the first time, and this is how you actually climb when you reach a tree, right?
Yep.
You developed your own little technique.
Mm-hmm.
So you go ahead and pull the your rope out because you attach the other end to your bow, right?
I do. A little different, not too much.
Closing your gate for safety. So you wait up until you get to the first move, and then you
and then I throw everything on.
Then you throw everything on.
Yep.
A lot of guys do that actually.
And from here, man, that's weird. It falls through a lot easier. A rope slides through it.
Yeah, I think you're going to see this is going to be your very first rappel with it.
Yeah,
I
feel like it's going to come down really fast.
Yeah, I think this is what lends itself to people saying it's a lot smoother. The Madrock does have more friction going through it. If you want, go ahead and make one more move, so we can get you can get a better idea of how it rappels versus 2 moves. We'll go ahead and make 3 moves. Well, stop and gather your stick. That's something you've learned over the hundreds of rappels since you and Scott made that first video, huh?
Yeah, that's an important part. You must remember your stick on the way down. It's an essential part of one sticking.
Yeah, Scott had 3 rules of one sticking, and you've kind of added another one, right?
Yeah.
Stop and get your stick. Okay, let's see how the GriGri Plus does.
Definitely a lot faster. Got rope burn on that.
Yeah, so you're used to having to pull the handle a lot harder, right?
You can barely touch it and it comes down. Yeah, it's way faster.
Well, it's faster if you pull the same.
Pull it, yeah.
If you pull that hard, right?
Yeah.
So just brace your, here, don't take it off. Just brace your feet up against the tree down here and lean back. Go ahead and put your bridge back on. You're like me, first thing you want to do is get rid of that bridge, right?
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. At Stags in the Wild, an openable bridge is a must.
It is. It's another rule of saddle hunting.
Another rule of saddle hunting. Okay. Now, yeah, you're planted here at the tree. Lean back. Just.
What, you just want me to do this?
Yeah, just stand up and take up the slack. There you go. Now lean back and get a feel for it.
I mean, you barely have to touch it, and it goes. Feels different. More plasticky.
So let me ask you this. As far as a lot of people think the GriGri Plus is smoother than a Madrock, what's your opinion?
I don't know.
You've got a bunch of...
If you pull a Madrock hard enough, I would say it just goes just as smooth. I mean, you don't have to pull this as much to get it smooth. But, I mean, if you pull a Madrock all the way, to me, it seems just as smooth.
So it's kind of a whatever you've got experience with, right?
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that. I think a beginner could learn how to make this more smooth, more easy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can do the same thing with a Madrock.
Yeah. I don't think there's a big difference. And if Madrocks are, I think they're fine. I think you can use both of them just fine. You can rappel up and down fine. I don't think there's that much of a difference. Both of them seem safe. I think both of them work. But, I mean, if Madrock's still out of stock in the country, then I think this would be just a perfect substitute. I think it'd go just fine.
Okay. Do this. Take up the slack.
So.
Start going down and then yank the handle as hard as you can. But wait until you start going down. You're in mid descent. Now yank.
Like pull it back?
Yep.
I'm going to fall the ground.
No, you won't. Pull it down.
You just want to see me get hurt.
No, you're not going to fall a couple feet. Okay, now, pull on the handle all the way over once you start going down.
I want to do it again. Oh man, once I start going down,
yeah. Once you start going down, now start descending.
See, there it is.
Pull it on over. It's slipping down, huh?
Just pull it as hard as I can.
Yeah, it's supposed to have an anti-panic handle that once you pull it over, it stops it.
Well, my butt doesn't say that.
There you go.
It kind of keeps on going still.
So so if you keep your brake hand on.
Yeah, you have to have your brake hand on.
You got to have your brake hand on.
No matter what. Oh my gosh, my butt hurts.
So if you do it without your brake hand, it's going to keep on going down. But do it this time and keep your brake hand on it.
I mean, so I'm putting a lot of pressure on this.
You're putting a lot of pressure on it, and that is Canyon Elite, what the community calls a big 9mm. It's not a small 9mm like CIV. It's probably 9 point something, so it's over 9. And you still need to hold on with your brake hand before the panic handle works fully. You can see it slipping. Okay. Pretty cool real world experiment there.
Yeah.
Your butt doesn't think it's cool, does it? Okay guys, we're back here in the archery room, and we're going to take just a moment here to go over some of the differences, and some of these are going to be very subjective, right? There are some objective things that we can look at, weights, dimensions, things like that, what size rope it can accommodate. We'll cover all that really quickly here. This is not going to be a long drawn-out video, but some of these things are just my observances, right? My feelings on holding this thing, and you know, I saw someone else make a post about this as we were kind of in the getting ready to shoot this video and everything, and it is absolutely true. You know, we've got a bunch of rappels on the Madrock Safeguard, right? It's well documented. This has been our belay device that we use to rappel. We use it as an ascender, we use it as a descender. I talk all about that in that video called What's My Gear List, right? Why we like the Safeguard. But I wanted to shoot this video on the GriGri Plus because, let's face it, not a lot of people can get their hands on a Safeguard. And there are some differences in this, so let's show you. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, what else can I use? And is the GriGri Plus just as good, or will it be safe to use, right? So that's the reason why I ordered this, so that, again, we can kind of round out this one sticking playlist to answer all those questions. And it is a commonly asked question for those guys that are entering the one sticking world, right? If you want to call it that. So if you look here in my left hand, it'll be on your right side of the screen. The Madrock Safeguard is fairly tiny compared to when you get this thing in. It is literally twice the bulk, and we'll show you that here. You know, it's significantly, when you stack one on top of the other, it literally is twice the size of it. So that's the first thing you notice when you open it up out of the pouch. You know, I ordered mine off Amazon and got it in. I'm like, crap, that thing is big. I'm just used to the sleek, slender design of the Madrock. And then the second thing you'll notice about the Madrock is it's all metal construction. There's no real moving parts in it other than, well, obviously you've got the gate that swings open that allows you to load the rope, right? And then the spring moves, but as far as mechanical, you know, a lot of people are worried about mechanical. You'll hear people talk about, oh, well, I don't want anything mechanical in my system because it could fail. The only thing mechanical here is the spring that allows this handle to snap back into place. It has nothing to do with holding the rope. And the GriGri Plus is the same way. It operates on a lever principle. Think of a teeter-totter or a fulcrum. The more you load one side, or the heavier one side gets, it's going to tip the scales one way, right? Think of justice scales. You know, that old picture of Justice is Blind. You put one, you know, more stuff in one scale, it tips over, and that's what's happening here. It tips over, and then it binds the rope. It's a binding principle, not necessarily anything mechanical that could go wrong, like in a Ropeman 1 or Ropeman 2 or a CT rolling lock or a Kong duck. Those things have internal springs that hold a lever against the rope that capture it, right? And if that spring breaks, you'll see really the one that fails the most, quite admittedly, is the Kong duck. You'll see a lot of people that go, man, my Kong duck, that spring inside of it quit working and it broke and I need to send it back, right? Well, it's basically impossible with this because it doesn't operate on a spring, it operates on a lever principle. But it's all metal construction, okay? So aside from being really big and bulky compared to this, again, these are subjective, right? This is just what I noticed off the front. It's got what Petzl calls a nylon reinforced handle, and it's got ribbing inside. And they try to lighten the weight by not making it solid, and it's got, you know, reinforced structure inside of it, and it's nylon reinforced. When you first get it out of the package, you look at it and go, it looks like plastic. In fact, this lever on the back, which actually serves a very cool function we're about to get into, but it's nylon, or when you look at it, you go, it's half of it's plastic. Well, nothing that really affects the rope or the operating mechanism of this is plastic, but it's just perception, right? When you first get it, it's like, it's huge, it's big, it's bulky, it's clunky, and it's got plastic parts on it. Well, again, they're not plastic, they're nylon reinforced, but the one thing I do like about it is where the rope goes is completely encapsulated here, where this Petzl logo is completely encapsulated, so it holds the rope all the way around. Now, I've never had a rope slip out of a Madrock Safeguard at all, but you'll see the difference here is the rope is free to go around and there's nothing underneath holding the rope. So just a slight difference, and it's one thing that makes this slimmer in design, whereas the Petzl tries to capture that whole rope all the way around. And then getting back to the thing that we said is pretty important here, this is a Belay Selector mode switch, if you want to call it that, right? So you can switch this from lead rope climbing mode, if you will, to top rope climbing. Okay, the difference is if you're lead rope climbing and mountaineering and canyon climbing and all that stuff like that, lead climbing is when you're climbing above your rope, right? Those are the guys that you see that are like super impressive on the videos, and they're going and they're clipping into a crevice in a rock or something like that, and if they fall, they're going to experience a little bit of a whip. They're going to fall to the safety device that they planted in. There's no rope above them. They're climbing above the rope. That's lead climbing. Top rope climbing is what you see in PE classes or indoor gyms or workout facilities like that, where they've already ran the rope up to the ceiling, hooked it around a big pipe or some device up there, and they're running back, and you've got a belay person down below you, and so you got the rope above you. In essence, that's what we're doing as saddle hunters, right? We're connected. We've got the rope up above us. In our case, the rope's above us. It's girth hitched around the tree, usually with a quick link, and we show that in a lot of videos, and then you're rappelling down backwards off the top rope, right? So you want to switch this, and on the GriGri Plus, the switch, if you're on the left, there's actually a little icon or a device that shows the person above the rope. You want to switch it to the guy that's got the rope in front of them, top rope mode, okay? And you can switch it back and forth. Okay, switch it like that, or you can take it here and lock it in. If you push that, in fact, you'll probably need a little screwdriver. And well, actually, you push this side in. Now I've locked it in, and it's not going. You don't have to worry about it going back out. And you want that. Petzl claims that it more actively captures the rope to reduce slack in the system. So more actively captures the rope. So you push this little device in here, it locks in this selector switch. You can't accidentally get it out of it. If you do want to ever switch it out, take your flathead screwdriver right here and push that. It disengages that locking mechanism. Now you can turn it back again. But I'm going to put it into the top rope mode, and push that switch in to lock that tab in, and now it's locked in the top rope mode. Man, that's hard for me to say. That's the selector. That's the mode that you want this thing in. Okay. Another nifty little feature, and we'll show you this out on the tree if we haven't already, is the anti-panic grab handle. It's kind of nifty if you're a really beginner, right? As many rappels as I've done over the couple years now we've been doing this, if I get in a real scenario where I'm really going down too fast or something, I know just to let go of my handle or move it up on my Madrock Safeguard. It's in a sense, it's the same way. But if you're teaching a young person to rappel and never done it, now Gabe learned how to rappel off of Madrock Safeguard when he was 13 years old. You guys have all seen that video, right? I'm never worried about him one second. In fact, I drop him off in woods. This is well documented. I talk about this on podcasts and different scenarios all the time. I'll drop him off, drive 7, 8, 9 miles down the road, hunt a different patch of woods, and come pick him up at dark at the highway. I don't worry about him rappelling off a Safeguard at all. But if you're someone who is just a little worried about a youngster or a newbie starting off rappelling, this is kind of nice, because as you're rappelling down, if you freak out and get scared and pull the handle too fast, as opposed to just going on further down and burning the rope up and just free falling on down, when you pull this too fast, it stops and grabs. It's an anti-panic handle, so that's kind of nice. What ropes does this accommodate? 8.5 to 11 millimeters. 8.5 to 11 millimeters, which covers most of the ropes we use as far as Canyon CIV, HTP. I don't know a lot of people in the one sticking world. It's a pretty stiff rope. Canyon Elite, that's our favorite, or my favorite at least. But 8.5 to 11 millimeter. Petzl says that the preferred or the best ropes that you're going to get the best performance out of is 8.9 to 10.5. You're going to get your optimal performance out of 8.9 to 10.5. So right there, 9 to 10 millimeter rope. How does that compare to the Safeguard? The Safeguard is 8.5. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 8.9 to 11 for climbing. 8.9 to 11, but that's for climbing. For rescue and rigging, Madrock says you can go all the way to 8.1. Again, talking to my friend who's got a lot of mountaineering and rope experience and climbing and things like that, he assured me that rescue and rigging and the 8.1 nomenclature this goes down to is really about the same thing we're doing as rappelling off. It goes, for all intents and purposes, there's no differentiation in there. So you can really look at this, that this accommodates all the way down to an 8.1 millimeter rope, which is why a lot of people, even though we don't recommend it, do your own research, do your own diligence. A lot of people are using 8 millimeter ropes like Restec and Oplux. What's the difference? We talked about how this is big and bulky versus this seems streamlined. That's just a perception thing. Does it affect performance? Absolutely not. Okay. The Madrock Safeguard weighs 0.36 pounds. I weighed them on my scale that I do all my reviews and everything on 0.36, so almost 4/10 of a pound. The Petzl GriGri Plus weighs 0.46, so 1/10 of a pound more. So it actually doesn't weigh that much more, and I think that's because of the nylon parts, as opposed to this is all metal, all steel, all aluminum. It's metal, so 0.36, even though this is twice as big, is 0.46 pounds. So I think, the price, $138.50 if you buy this from Petzl at the Amazon store. You can get it on REI's website for $129.99 with free shipping. So that's the best deal I found, $129.99 through REI with free shipping. The Madrock Safeguard, $89.99. As you well know, it's very well documented. The challenge is finding someplace that's got it in stock, right? So that's the price difference. Here's my closing thoughts on it. I think it's a fantastic option and alternative to the Safeguard. If you can't get your hands on this, and that, will I go to this? No, because of all the reasons. It's twice as big, twice as bulky, and I can't remember if I said this. Here's as part of my closing thoughts. I think this is smoother, and a lot of people talk about this, right? We probably should have addressed it right up front, and sorry I didn't, but hopefully it kept you watching a little bit longer. Didn't really mean to, though. I do think this is a very, very smooth option. You see people talk about that all the time. It is smoother at first. What I mean by that? If you're a novice, if you're a rookie, if you're a newbie, if you're someone who's just getting into one-sticking or rappelling, like I said, I don't care if you one-stick up or not, right? I don't care if you do any of this stuff. But I do think that rappelling down out of a tree is the safest way to get down out of a tree after a night's hunt or a morning's hunt, especially if you're cold, if your fingers are numb, irrespective of your climbing method, right? If you take 4 sticks and aiders, if you're doing whatever, however way you get up a tree, I think rappelling down is the safest way. And you can do that with a figure 8. I've got several of them hanging up over there, Petzl Piranhas, basic figure 8s, different ones. You can rappel down. You don't need, this is great for one sticking because it acts as an ascender and a descender. If you're just going to rappel down, use a figure 8. Learn how to tie a muncher hitch on a carabiner. You can do that easy, okay? But I do think this device is smoother than the Madrock Safeguard at first, okay? If you're a rookie or a newbie or somebody like that, you can feather yourself down with this easily the first few climbs, okay? Here's why I say and emphasize at first. I can feather myself down just as smoothly as I can with the GriGri Plus with a Safeguard. Keep in mind though, I have got several hundred rappels on this, right? No joke, no exaggeration, several hundred rappels on a Madrock Safeguard. So I've got a lot of experience with this. If you're a brand new person looking at it, you can learn how to feather a Madrock Safeguard down just as well as you can a GriGri Plus. It's just going to take you a lot more time. It's going to be more of a feel thing, okay? So that's my feelings on them both. I think it's a great option to the Safeguard. I hope this video has helped you guys a little bit. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. We have 8 more videos on one-sticking to round out the playlist. When this playlist is done, there's not going to be a question that will be unanswered about one-sticking. So like and subscribe. We'll see you the next one around.